Hello students, this is Mrs. Hall in the library, and your teacher Mr. Willard has asked me to give you some tips on researching. So let's get started. Students, researching involves a lot of reading. You'll be reading lots of articles that are written by experts in whatever topic you have chosen to research, and you need to give those people credit for the work that they have done. So the way we credit these people is to include a Works Cited page at the end of your research paper. I want to show you step by step how you go about setting one of those up. So we're going to open up Microsoft Word, and what we're doing is we're using a format called Modern Language Association, and there are certain rules that you follow. One of them has to do with the margins. Fortunately, in Word, those margins are already preset for you, but we need to go in here and change our font to Times New Roman, size 12. We're going to put a title here, so we're going to click the center button, and the title is Works Cited, and this we want our work to be double spaced, so we're going to go over here, and where the paragraph area is, we're going to click this tiny arrow, and we're going to choose in the special box hanging, and that will set a hanging indent on your second line of your citation, just because that is how MLA tells us to set these things up. And then line spacing will be double, and then we're going to click OK. We're going to push enter once after our title. Notice how Works has an S on the end of it. Cited begins with the letter C. We're going to push enter, and then we're going to click on the left justify button. Now, we don't have anything to put in here yet because we haven't started our research, but we do need to save this. So we're going to go up here on the rainbow or office button, and we're going to click Save As. We're going to go out to your network folder. We're going to go out here, and the first thing we're going to do is create a new folder, and we're going to call it Research Project, or you could call it by the topic, whatever makes sense to you. I'm going to open up that folder, and anything that I put into any of my notes, whatever I'm doing to work on this project, I'm going to keep it all in that same folder. This is just an organizational tip. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is minimize this because, as I said, I don't have anything to put into this document yet. So I'm going to minimize it, but I'm going to come back to it. When you're doing research, you want to make sure that your resources are reliable. So our district has provided our students with several databases that you can use, and you know that this information is reliable. So to get there, we're going to go out to the internet to our LISD website. You will go to Students, Bookmarks for Research Secondary. You will log in just like you would on the network. You can close this screen, and I just want you to notice that this page has several databases listed. These are databases that the district provides for you. Your parents are paying for them, so make sure you make good use of them. You can use these anytime you want, but they are especially good for research projects. We are going to go to one that is provided for the HHS schools. So we're going to click on HHS right here, and we want to go to Gale Resources, and the password here is Lone Star. That's one word. And we're going to go down here and open up the database called Opposing Viewpoints and Context. This is a database that is used when you are studying controversial issues. Okay, let's say that your topic is teen dating. You'll put that into the search box and click search. It will bring up a number of articles for you. And whenever you're researching, you don't want to pick just the very first article that you come to or the second article. You want to look at several articles and find which ones are the most appropriate for your particular research topic. If you look over here, it gives you kind of a legend to tell you what these articles are. These little icons, the dialog boxes, say that these are essays. This says these come from newspapers for the most part. And this, if you see this icon, it means they come from magazines. These are statistics. These are audio that you can listen to, and this is a website that they are recommending that you might use. Mr. Willard wants you to stick with the articles. So let's just say that I'm going to go through here. A lot of times you can tell just by the title that maybe this isn't something that will help you out with your research. Teen drama comes to DC, a new book. Maybe, maybe not. That's not sounding like a really good one to me. But maybe my topic is teen dating violence. So let me take a look at this first article. Sometimes you can just tell by scanning whether our article is going to help you or not, and then you could go back and read it more deeply. So what I'm going to do is just kind of scan through. Everywhere I see my search terms, it's going to show up in red. So as I'm scanning through, I'm deciding, yes, this is probably something that I can use. So I want to go ahead and make my citation for it, because it's very easy to do that on these databases. At the very bottom of the page, you'll see where it says source citation. So I'm going to highlight this citation. I'm going to hold down the Control key on the keyboard and click C, which stands for copy. And then I'm going to minimize this screen. I'm going to open up my Works Cited page that I started earlier. I'm already set to go on this because I did this earlier. And then I can either click the paste button, or I can hold down the Control key and letter V, which allows me to paste in that citation. Now this looks pretty good except for one thing. This says that this font is Helvetica. MLA says we need to use Times New Roman. So we're going to highlight this again, and we're going to change the font to Times New Roman size 12. Now you could wait until you have all your citations and do that all at once. I kind of like to do it as I go. And then I'm going to push enter and I'll be ready for my next citation. Notice that this second, third, fourth line, and so forth are all indented. That's because we set the hanging indent up here in the paragraph. Okay, I am going to minimize this, go back to the database where I was looking for my article, and there are some tools over here on the side that you might want to do. You might want to download this article to your network folder and then go back and read it later. You might want to email it to yourself so that you could print it at school. You're allowed to print up to 10 pages per day in here in the library. So you can do that with the print button. If you come to anything, a word that you don't understand, if you click on it and then click the dictionary, it will give you a definition of that word. You could translate it into other language if you wanted to. You could save it, pretty much the same thing as downloading. Or you could even listen to this if you prefer to listen to text rather than read it. You could do that also. Alright, so then if we want to go back, we click the back arrow, and we could go and look at the next article. And again, we're going to follow the same procedure. We're going to read through, and we're going to decide if this is something that we would like to use. And just because you put it in your Works Cited page doesn't mean you have to use it in the end. You can always decide, okay, I didn't want that one after all, I found something better. But it's a good idea to go ahead and put your citation in as you're going. So again, highlight, Control C, minimize, open your Works Cited page, paste or Control V. Again, the font is wrong, so highlight, change to Times New Roman, size 12. Be sure you save as you go, and then you can go back to the database, go up here to your tools again, download if you like, email if you like, print it if you'd like, use these other tools. And then you're just going to repeat this process. Click on your back arrow, open a new article. I'm going to do one more just for the sake of showing you how this ends up looking on your citation page. We're going to highlight, Control C, minimize, go back to your citation page, push enter if you haven't already done so, paste, and then you're going to highlight, change to Times New Roman, size 12, and save. For the sake of demonstration, let's say that you have all 5 of your resources here, and the last step in all of this is to put these in alphabetical order by the name that's given here or by the word that's here. So this is the starts with an H. That needs to be at the top. So we're going to highlight this, and we're going to come over here and do a cut. We're going to put it at the top of the page, so we're going to click right in front of that M, and we're going to click paste. And then this one needs to be second. So we're going to highlight, cut, click right in front of the M, paste. Now you have these all in alphabetical order, and you will save this. This is going to be, Mr. Willard would be telling you, giving you some more information, but this is the very last page of your research paper. Okay, you would continue doing your research, and again, don't just come up with 5 articles just because that's how many you have to get, or don't read just 5 and go, okay, this is good, this is all I need. You're going to read, find information that is interesting to you and that fits your topic, and choose from those resources. This is a very good database for you to be using, and you know that the information that you are getting will be reliable. I wish you good luck in your research, and let me know if I can help you in any way. Thank you very much for your attention.
Guys, this is Mr. Willard. What all this Works Cited page and LISD database information that Mrs. Hall just shared with you has to do with is the fact that it's going to end up being an argumentative, multi-source research paper over a current controversial issue. Guys, we've got 12 points that I want to add to what Mrs. Hall has already told you. Number 1, you may work with a partner from first, second, or fourth period, or work alone. Number 2, each partner must print out all 4 articles, the exact same 4 articles, and a Works Cited page. Number 3, you're going to want to probably avoid heavy science topics like pollution, or very broad topics like hunger. Instead, choose a topic of interest that you understand. Number 4, you'll probably choose 4 liberal or 4 conservative articles because they will agree with each other, and we do want a bias here with this paper. It is argumentative. You cannot have 2 articles that are liberal and 2 articles that are conservative. For example, 2 articles that support abortion and 2 articles that are against it. You need to have 4 pro-choice articles or 4 pro-life articles. Number 5, when printing off each of your 4 articles, the Opposing Viewpoints logo or the URL must be shown. To save ink, you might cut and paste the article itself into your own Word document. You could skip the additional resources cited that's at the bottom of the article and then cut and paste the URL, because nothing but opposing viewpoints will be accepted for research on this particular project. Number 6, the titles are usually the giveaway as to what the article is about. And so you don't have to read every word in each article when you're choosing it, but you want to skim through it to make sure you understand what the article's talking about. If there's a lot of heavy vocabulary you don't understand, you're in the wrong area. You need to change your topic. Number 7, chopped off words are useless. Okay, it makes the whole thing that you printed off worthless. Make sure that your entire article, margin to margin, is printed off correctly so that all the words can be read. Number 8, be sure to print off all the pages of the article, not just the first one. But once again, you do not need to print off the additional resources that are listed at the end of the article, but you must print off all the pages of the article. Number 9, guys, the due date is firm, and so if the school printer breaks down at 7:30 a.m. on the due date, your work is still late. Number 10, each article should be about 2.5 pages to 8 pages long. Long enough so it's of use to you, but not too long so that it wastes too much ink. Number 11, guys, the wrong approach is to ask Mr. Willard, what's my argument? Mr. Willard doesn't know what your argument is. You must read all of the articles and then try to find common ground first, then we'll look into what your argument is. Lastly, guys, number 12, your goal for this term paper is to make an A with the least amount of work possible, without cheating, of course. And it's not to prove some giant point that you have in your pocket. It's really just to work step by step to get this paper done. And really, if you do what I tell you to do, because it's an outside of class project, you really will be able to raise your grade.